Hey guys, welcome to the Technologadget Podcast number 4. I'm your host, Jacob Holt. Let's get started with This Week in Tech. So hey guys, the first thing I have for you this week is that Microsoft and Toyota is entering into a deal. This week they have reported, and actually it is true by the way, not just reported, that Microsoft Telematrix Wizardry is the way I understood this, which powers Toyota's cars and systems to help link people to their cars and homes and things like that. It is going to be expanded this week to add those things, linking people and things like that, which I find very interesting. Kind of strange, though, considering it's running Microsoft's Azure, however you pronounce this, Cloud OS, which is their online OS. This is their networking operating system, their Cloud OS, but supposedly it also works with cars, so I'm guessing it is going to be kind of local, though, because you can't have a car that is just totally dependent on the internet. So hopefully this will be really good for Toyota and bring them in a good spot. Maybe we'll see these in some new cars shortly. The next thing I have for you guys is that YouTube is reportedly putting $100 million into original programming. I wish they would spend a little bit of that on me personally. But putting $100 million into original programming, the Wall Street Journal reports, which is neat, I think. Supposedly this will have hours of weekly footage or entertainment, which is neat. So I'm guessing they'll have like a news broadcast and maybe some kind of, web series show. I don't know how that's exactly going to work out, but it's going to be interesting to see how that works out for them. Maybe, who knows, they'll throw some of that money my way. That'd be really nice. I'd really appreciate it, If they throw me a few $1,000s, it's nothing out of $100 million. But Google, who owns YouTube, neither confirms nor denies this, so we'll just have to wait and see. One thing I really found interesting this week is that they're bringing back the old Commodore 64. Remember the old Commodore 64? It was at one time a gaming system, kind of. It wasn't necessarily a gaming system. It had a full keyboard. It was really neat. I personally did not own one, but I thought it was pretty neat. It's coming back with the original look, but with new insides, which I find interesting. So I'm guessing they don't make hardware that slow anymore, so it's going to have like new processors and things inside. It will also be backwards compatible with older games, which I find is really nice. So, hopefully they won't. I'm guessing they're going to have a new system also to work with this, so they'll have new games, I guess. Dish Network is winding up to buying Blockbuster in an auction for them because they went bankrupt. They're going to be buying them for around $228 million in cash. Dish Network's executive vice president said Dish looks forward to reestablishing Blockbuster as the leader of video entertainment. I find that really neat. Hopefully they will do something with Blockbuster, but in a world with Netflix, I see that quite a challenge for Dish Network, and I don't know how these FCC regulations are going to work out for them because it's going to wind up very interesting. So hopefully this will bring more movies and more choice to the consumer, but we'll just have to wait and see. Microsoft's Mixed Dev Conference kicks off next week, and the rumor is that there's going to be Silverlight for the 360. And normally, nobody would care about Silverlight, about anything. Personally, and I'm sorry, no offense to the guys over at Microsoft, I think Silverlight is kind of neat, and it does power the Netflix instant streaming. But it's kind of like a Flash knockoff. It's just kind of a thing. It's a competitor with Flash. But what makes this interesting is this could bring the capability of writing apps to the Xbox 360. So maybe you could have a browser, or even better, you could have Angry Birds. No, I'm kidding. I'm not that big into Angry Birds. But you could have, theoretically, Angry Birds for your Xbox 360, and you could even write apps that are compatible with the Windows 7 phones and the Xbox 360, which is really neat. So we'll just have to wait and see what that looks like. And even more theoretically, you could have one that works for the Windows 7 Mac and your 360 and your Windows 7 device. So we'll just have to wait and see. The next thing I have for you guys is an iPod Touch prototype was leaked this week, supporting a capacitive home button. Nothing much new other than that. I just found that really interesting. But we may see some gestures, maybe like they showed in a beta of iOS 4.2 with all the swiping and stuff. I have that actually unlocked on my iPad currently, and it's just really useful. Kind of eliminates the purpose for the home button, which is really nice. I don't really like the home button. Personally, once you get used to not using it, it's kind of comfortable not using it. But it's nice, so maybe we'll see some neat gestures, maybe like some kind of palm style, like you drag up and get something. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see, but it looks really neat. I'm excited to see what Apple has in store. Maybe this could have easily been a fake, or it could not, so we'll just have to wait and see. Apple is said to be unveiling the next version of Final Cut Pro or Final Cut Express and Final Cut Server. I'm guessing next week. Very interesting to see how that works out, and hopefully it'll be really great. I would love to get my hands on some professional video software, and I've been holding off just for this update, so hopefully it'll be really nice and look much nicer, considering the last update to Final Cut came in 2009. Supposedly they will be unveiling it at the FCP User Group Super Meet. Apple has told the meeting coordinators that it needs all the stage time for this event, knocking off Canon and some other presenters, so everybody's been told pretty much to go home and don't worry about it. So I just find that really interesting. So they're demanding all the stage time, and supposedly this update has been described as a jaw dropper, so hopefully for people who have seen it, so I'm excited to see how that works out. And hopefully we'll see some really good software come from this and some great video editing. In some quick news, Sprint has launched this week a new portable hotspot, which, what is that? Well, it's basically a little modem that pumps out Wi-Fi in the form of 3G and 4G. This one is 3G and 4G compatible and is really interesting. I believe it's made by Novatel, and it's just nice to have more options in this market. Larry Page this week was knighted, not by the Queen of England, no, but he was knighted as Google's CEO again this week as Eric Schmidt stepped down, but don't worry, Eric Schmidt's not too far away. He is just now the head of the board of directors, which I find very interesting. Larry Page at one time was Google's CEO. I don't remember exactly when he was, but he stepped down at one point because Google said, quote, pretty much, we need more adult supervision. So Dr. Eric Schmidt has been leading the company for a while now. He's led it in some great places with Android and Chrome OS coming and some other things like that. So it's really exciting. So hopefully Larry Page will continue in this direction and do some great things with Google and hopefully quit stalking us, because Google just seems to stalk us all, and it's just getting kind of scary at some point. Jailbreak for iOS 4.2.1 came out this week, if you care about that. I did at one point jailbreak my iPad this week to try some of the video mirroring, considering I have an iPad 1. Didn't work for me, probably will work for you. I only have a simple composite a cable hooking up, so that didn't work out for me, but hopefully it will for you. And the last thing, this podcast is going to be kind of short this week, I do apologize, is that Epsilon has a breach in their systems. Which I never heard of them before in my life either. Epsilon is a company that basically hands email addresses for TiVo, Best Buy, Citi, JP Morgan, and a bunch of others. And basically they had a breach, and all these email addresses were stolen. So, there's not a huge threat, like of your accounts being hacked or anything, but you will be receiving more spam. And if you get an email from, say, Best Buy or TiVo or Citi or JP Morgan and Chase, I would recommend to not, if you get an email from them, make sure it is a real email, make sure it's not a fake, and none of those companies, I guarantee you, will never ask you to go and update your information with, your social security number and your financial information. So don't do that, ever. That's just a bad idea. Don't be the person that has to deal with identity theft because they just didn't look at an email good, because that happens every day, all the time, and people make a lot of money that way. So please don't be a victim of that. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this podcast. More will be coming later. Hopefully my next time we'll get a guest. I'm working on some guests, so hopefully we'll get one in. I really, really hope so, because it's getting kind of lonesome here in the studio, so hopefully we can get some guests here and we can have a great time. So thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to check out Technologadget on the website, Technologadget on YouTube, and literally something. I forget what it's called. I'm going to Google it real quick now because I don't want to look stupid, and I'm pretty sure that Hank would appreciate it if I looked it up. So I'm going to look right now, and this will actually put us over 10 minutes also, which is great while I look. So that will actually make everything better. It's literally technology. I was right, but I didn't want to take a guess at it because I didn't want to be wrong. It is literally technology. Check out Technologadget. You guys can check out me if you want to. I'm not going to put a shameless plug here. But anyway, so make sure you guys do that. Don't forget to follow Technologadget on Twitter for the latest updates and news. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys, or well, actually you guys won't see, I won't see you guys, and you guys won't see me, but I hope you guys listen to the next podcast. Catch you later.